mean, John never really cared about this sort of thing anyway, but, you know, we accepted on his behalf as well because he had a serious creative input into our existence. And,
There's just, I'd like to, first of all, I'd like to thank Satan. First of all, I'd like to thank Satan.
Is it possible the Super Bowl halftime shows are actually ancient rituals being performed in front of you, but you can't see what is actually happening because you were blind to occult science being used against you? Why is it so important that these shows have symbols from the ancient past? Why did Madonna have to show up on the stage dressed like a Sumerian goddess, an Egyptian goddess, a Babylonian goddess? For these rituals to work, these symbols must be used, and the people must see the symbols. It is all part of the ritual. Hollywood has flooded our minds with occult movies, making us believe that magic and dark magic is not real, it's not possible. So when we do see it, we do not question it. In Super Bowl 46, Madonna inscribed a rune on the gold throne she sat. What is a rune? What is a rune? It's an ancient Norse and Germanic alphabet, the symbols of which were ascribed magical properties. She used this rune because that symbol resonates in the spirit realm. The people watching Madonna's halftime show were human DVRs, where their subconscious mind recorded the symbols, the runes that they saw. To understand how this works is very much like understanding sympathetic harmonics. If you put two pianos in a concert hall, and on one piano you began to bang on the C note, the piano on the other side of the concert hall, its string would begin to resonate that same C note without being touched, because of the harmonics, the frequency. Even a symbol has a frequency, and by watching it, you carried it. Very much like you see in occult movies is exactly what was happening on the stage during the performance. Certain star alignments were overhead, and they had to perform certain gestures and say certain words at the time of the alignment. This was to ensure planetary influences and star constellation energies were locked into our time frame, in our realm, in our physical world. Certain influences to manipulate our behavior, our thoughts, our minds. Ephesians 6:12 tells us, "For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. What does that mean? Are there actual beings in the heavenly realms? Not flesh and blood. Is there a connection between these Super Bowl halftime shows and the heavenly realms? The answer is yes. Through careful research, we have discovered that over each of these Super Bowls are ancient gate systems. One is called the Silver Gate. In the ancient times, it was known as the exit out of the heavens. It is the Gemini constellation and Taurus constellation intersected by the galactic plane, also known as the Dark Rift. How can this be? What are the odds that the ancient exit of the heavens, the place where the ancients said the gods would leave, would be over such a popular sports event? These Super Bowl performances have a dual purpose. There's a ritual being performed at the same time, and they need the sound and they need the energy to open the gate. What is coming through this gate is outside of the human eye spectrum, but it is very real, and they are doing it, and they have done it every year. They did it in Super Bowl 46, and they did it in Super Bowl 47 with Beyonce, and they will do it again in Super Bowl 48. It was because of Super Bowl 46 I was able to ask the right questions and get the right answers in Super Bowl 47. There had to be a star component to this. And in Super Bowl 47, it was proven. Weeks before Super Bowl 47, there was a prediction made. If the stars were a part of the Super Bowl performance, then we would see a representation of the constellation in the show. Beyonce helped us prove that. Because Gemini and Taurus were over the stadium at the time of the show, we predicted that we would see images of Taurus, of the bull images, and Gemini. It is old news now, but the face of Gemini was on the stage, and the bull images were everywhere. If you slow down her performance, you would see them. She actually laid down and performed in a bullseye, and those lines that you saw around the bullseye represented the constellation Taurus. There were symbols for Taurus all throughout the show, even a fiery bull. Why were they there? They were to create a connection between Taurus and, just like in the times of Moses, in the days of Noah, the bull was worshipped Apis, the bull, was their god, and they have never stopped worshiping this bull, ritualizing it and using the secrets of the constellation to manipulate energy against the unknowing people. None of this is an accident. It is all carefully planned. Taurus, this bull, was also known as Molech, and child sacrifice offerings were made to this bull. Why is it so important that this halftime show ritualize the bull? Why did Beyonce have to wear a leather onesie with the Baphomet symbol embroidered on it? These are all occult techniques right in our face, and we have stopped questioning, and we have become the sleeping ones. Even after Beyonce had noticeable changes to her eyes, strange lines running on the sides of her tongue, extreme muscle tone, and a bulging throat with a shape just like the one that Rihanna took in her Umbrella video. There was a relationship there. Even the Bible has examples of demon-possessed people that became so strong because of the increased muscle tone when they were possessed by an entity. Beyonce even admits that she sings better when she is possessed by Sasha Fierce.
I remember right before I performed, I raised my hands up, and it was kind of the first time I felt something else come into me, and I knew that was going to be my coming out night.